Welcome to another 1 minute waffle, this time on the Testalonga Stay Brave Skin Contact Chenin Blanc. Now this is the second vintage in a row that we've managed to snag an allocation of the wine that is almost exclusively sold on the export market. It also happens to be the first HanDrinksSolo wine to get an official Bizarro sticker warning. It is a skin contact wine, and for those who've never had one of those before, it can be a little crazy. But I don't really feel like talking about that now. I want to talk about natural wine. Now, Craig Hawkins, the owner and winemaker for Testalonga, is one of South Africa's most famous natural winemakers. But what does that even mean, right? I could be saying he's the tallest dwarf, or perhaps he's the most eloquent dentist. For a wine to be considered a natural wine, it has to be made from certified organic vineyards. It has to be picked by hand, and when it's fermented in the cellar, they're not allowed to add any sort of yeast. It has to be a spontaneous native fermentation. And when everything is done and dusted, there can be no more than 30 milligrams of sulfur per liter in the finished wine, whether added or natural, because there are always sulfites in wine. It's a natural byproduct of fermentation. And then there are also a whole bunch of filtering practices which are completely outlawed. And that's why so many natural wines are often cloudy, although they don't have to be. I guess if there was an aspirational slogan for natural winemakers, it would be no additives and no technology, although these rules do get bent from time to time. Now, to make a really great natural wine is hard because lab yeasts make fermentation predictable and easy. Take some savvy bee grapes and add a particular yeast strain, it comes out tasting of peaches and apricots. Add another yeast strain to the same grapes, it'll come out tasting of lemons, limes, and elderflower. In the same way, sulfur is a surefire way to make sure there are no unwanted bacteria in your wine. In the same way, filtration technology means that you can get a wine clear as crystal in a couple of hours rather than settling over it a couple of days or weeks. I think what this is really about is that man has developed a whole bunch of ways in order to completely control wine to the point where making wine is utterly predictable and formulaic. It's all science and no art. And I think in some senses the natural wine movement is about trying to claw back some of the alchemy and the magic and the mystery and the chance that your wine could completely turn into vinegar. The end result is you get some epic natural wines, but you also get some truly awful ones. Luckily, as I've said, Craig Hawkins is one of our most famous natural winemakers and outstanding in his work. He's also meticulous in his cellar, as hygiene is one of the most important things when making a natural wine, given that you don't have anything that can automatically kill off unwanted germs or bacteria. Now, whether you find this bizarre or not, this is an epic example of natural wine and something that us South Africans can be proud of on an international scale.